This is the ghost of what I'd like to see coming to Elite Dangerous at some point in the future. Black holes with accretion disks. It's been a long desired feature, many people have asked for it over the years. Frontier have been largely silent on it, and unfortunately so far it hasn't made it. The footage you're looking at here is taken from Space Engine, and this is Sagittarius A, the massive black hole at the centre of the galaxy. Accretion disks then are the first of 5 things I'd love to see added to Elite Dangerous in the future. Now many of these are discussing graphical upgrades, and Odyssey of course has brought some pretty substantial graphical upgrades to Elite. However, that's not to say there couldn't be more. Now don't get me wrong, this isn't a comparison between Elite Dangerous and Space Engine. Instead, I'm actually using the footage from Space Engine to highlight the features I'd love to see in Elite Dangerous and why I think they would be fantastic additions and why they would add so much more to exploration in space. Now what we can see right here is Saturn as it looks today in Elite Dangerous. So aside from the visual improvements and texture improvements, which we'll get to that in just a moment, the big addition here is the casting of shadows from the rings onto the planetary surface itself. This is something that Elite doesn't do. It's something that a lot of people have wanted to see for a very long time. It adds just so much, especially when you get closer to atmospheres, the shadows cast across the atmosphere, something that you would have noticed if you've watched the Foundation series on Apple TV. And such effects of course look very nice when you're on a moon orbiting nearby to such planets. Something, for me at least, that would add tremendously to planets now that we can get out and walk across them. I just love to look up and see such visuals. And talking of visuals, the visuals of non-landable planets such as Earth right here are something that could certainly do with an upgrade. This model of Earth is the original version added to Elite when it first launched, so dating from 2014, possibly earlier if you count the development time for the game as well. Now something you will have noticed, pretty much all of the non-horizon planets, all of the non-landable planets do look pretty dated. These then could certainly do with a bit of a makeover, and if they looked something like this, I do believe it would add tremendously to the value of seeking out new planets and strange new worlds, even those that are non-landable. There's plenty of Earth-like worlds out there in Elite Dangerous, so finding them with high-quality visuals like this would definitely make a lot of difference and, well, just like I say, add quite a bit of value to the entire experience. So the third feature I'd like to see upgraded is the visuals for non-landable planets. This could encompass other non-landable planets such as gas giants. Here we have Elite's version of Jupiter. Some sharper visuals here then make a massive difference. Now one thing I do want to point out is that I'm well aware that Elite Dangerous and Odyssey currently need a lot of fixing. Also, Frontier really need to focus on getting the console version of Odyssey out there as well. So I know many of you will probably be thinking that there's no time to add these sort of elements to Elite Dangerous just yet, but really, I do think that something like this does need to be added in the future, because after all, Elite is a space game, so we need space-based phenomena in there, don't we? Now, talking of phenomena, this is the Aurora Borealis on Earth. It's an absolutely stunning thing to witness from the ground, but it seems to be equally stunning when viewed from space. Auroras are not exclusive to Earth. They can be found on pretty much any planet that has atmospheres of a certain density and certain type. So the addition of auroras into Elite Dangerous would certainly add another load of value to exploration. And who knows, maybe at some point in the far future we'd also be able to get low enough into the atmosphere to fly through them. Large objects are not the only thing I'd like to see added to and improved upon within Elite Dangerous. This right here is a moon. Now it's much larger than a regular asteroid, but it's also far too small to form a sphere under its own gravity. Whilst Elite Dangerous certainly does have asteroids, it doesn't have any moons anything like this at all. Now our very own solar system does have many moons like this. A lot of them can be found around the gas giants and the larger bodies such as Jupiter, Saturn and Neptune. In fact, there's far too many such moons to name within our solar system, but a few would include Pan, Atlas and Prometheus. Now jumping back for a moment into the solar system in Space Engine, we can see a few examples of these type of bodies. Elite does pretty much have something quite similar to this, not too far different. I think this is a little bit more distorted than you'd see, but unfortunately it has nothing quite like this. These then would be some fantastic additions, especially with the ability to go and land on them, or otherwise explore them. So that's 4 features I'd like to see added to the space-based versions of the space-based aspects of Elite Dangerous. The 5th is something again that has been asked for a very long time, and this would be comets. Now apparently comets do exist within the game, at least in the form of code, but they don't have any visual representation. Interestingly, what we're looking at here is not a comet. Comet instead could perhaps lead to another feature, that is the vaporization of atmospheres for those bodies that are very close to their parent stars. And that is exactly what's happening here with this planet. So there we have it, 5 space-based phenomena I'd like to see added to Elite Dangerous at some point in the future. Of course, as I said, we all know Frontier need to get Odyssey in a great condition before any of this could happen. They also need to release the console version of Odyssey again before any of this could happen. But once all that's done, I really would hope that Frontier can once again return their attention to the skies and focus on space-based content rather than ground-based content. I'll leave you with a few variations of stars as can be seen in Space Engine, as well as some variations of gas giants as well.